Good afternoon. Today is the 30th of July and this is part 7 of the Slightly Shambolic Shuffle around the 2022 Festival of the Unexceptional here at Grimsthorpe Castle in Lincolnshire. I do apologise in advance if we get things wrong, if I fall over, if there's wind noise, if there's general sort of rubbish filming going on. I'm afraid that's just the way it goes in this channel. So we have done 6 parts so far. This is part 7. Interesting Citroen, interesting ZX here. It's a Volkswagen. I hope this is a petrol viewers because I don't talk about deals on this channel, but it has got a rev count that goes to about 8,000, so I think we're okay. So there's not too grand in the back, so I imagine this might be owned by Mr. Chris Pollock. And it's even got that annoying keypad immobiliser that the Persian Citroens from this era had. 1995 Vauxhall Cavalier 1.8 Classic has entered into the Concours de l'Ordinaire last year. This was the absolute last Cavalier that they made, I think down in Luton. I actually did film a very similar car on No Budget Reviews last year. It was a 1.6 Classic. Replaced, of course, by the good old Vectra B. Ooh, a Snowdy 200 Avant. It's very nice, viewers. I do like that. It's got a leather interior. Yeah, it probably is a 200 then. Very special. 1991 that one, so very near the end of original this generation of 100 anyway. What's the original 100 came in 68, didn't it? And then this sort of A6 type came in. Mark II Volkswagen Scirocco on a G, so 89 to 90. Not sure what specification on this, to be honest with you. 1986 to 1986 or thereabouts, Citroen BX19 GT. You can tell there's 7 parts, can't you, there in a day? That's insane. So yeah, late pre-facelift. W201 Mercedes-Benz 190 in the service position as well. This is quite a fancy one, isn't it? All sorts of interesting things going on here. It's a 2.6, very nice. Like that kind of thing, viewers. We also like Rover R8s, including this 1992 to 3 Rover 214 SLI. So this is kind of like a popular between the pre and post facelifts, really. So we've got the round the corner headlamps indicating a change from 95 to 103 brake horsepower engine. We haven't got a grille on it though, which means we're before the 1994 model year. Ford Escort Mark V B. This looks like it's a Z-Tech. It might even be a 1.6 Z-Tech if I'm no, it's a 1.4 LX. So it's on a Z-Tech engine, and it's a 1.4. You can tell it's part 7, can't you, viewers? I do apologise again. I did say I get things wrong at the start of the video, so I always apologise at the start of every video because you know it's going to go wrong. 1972 to 3 Rover 2000 TC P6. I have driven a 2000 on the channel. It was a much earlier one than this. It was 67 2000 SC Auto, but this is a kind of Mark 1.5, I think, because the 2200 came in a little bit later. Honda Concerto, very similar to the R8 Rover, many shared components, although the suspension in the front is completely different in these. This is a 1.5 automatic. I don't know what trim that is, to be honest. Built in the same factory, actually. They're both built in Longbridge before Honda's Swindon plant came on tap a little bit later. Oh, a Toyota Carina E 1.8 SI 1996 to 7 registration. Quite a late one because the Avensis with which this did share some components came in 1998, so quite a late one. 1995-1996 Ford Escort Mark VI Cabaret. Yes, the interior looks a bit like a cabaret in here with all sorts of jazzy bits in there. 16 valves, it'd be the 1.6. That Volkswagen, we can't talk about, I'm afraid, viewers, because we do not talk about diesels on this channel. Goodness me, there's 4 Audi 80s of the B2 variety here. That's absolutely crazy. Original plates of the Harrow branch, with the really old phone number, the 01 number. I think that went out sort of late 80s, so plates are very old. So 1982 to 83, Audi 80. Must be a fancy 5S, 5-speed gearbox and headlamp washers. Very fancy. This is a post-facelift one, so 85, 86. I think 86 was the last year for these, so quite a late one for these. Still got the power locks in here and still got a 5-speed gearbox, but this has been renamed the Sport Edition. Yes, dead fancy. Another Suzuki Ignis. This is the second one we've seen here today, actually. I think this is probably a 1.3, could be 1.5. I don't know. 1.3s tended to be the sort of lower spec ones. All very nice. 1972 to 3, Morris 2200. This is an early 6-cylinder engine Land Crab. Portsmouth area. 2003 Volvo S60 2-litre turbo. I did actually drive one of these on the channel in 2020. That didn't have a beige leather interior though, viewers, and I would have liked it very much because I do like a nice beige leather interior. Most agreeable. It's one of these Datsun 120Y pickups. These were made in South Africa for years and years and years afterwards in this shape, and they call them just the Nissan Backies, I think. This one's 75, 76. W124 here is an E220, so quite a late one. If that plate's not a personal one, be 1993 to 1994. Is that another beige leather interior, viewers? No, it's not. It's a cloth interior. Never mind, we'll just continue what we're doing. Hello, sir. 1989 to 90. Vauxhall Nova. I think this time by the time I called the GSI rather than the GTE, but I could be wrong. Look how naked the engine of these is. That's crazy. In comparison with trying to fish under the bonnet of the Corsa these days. Oh, talking of classic Vauxhalls. 1965 Vauxhall Cresta PB. Wow, viewers, look at this. Bench seats and all kinds of things. This is a facelifted one, so this will have the 3.3 litre engine in it. That's pretty nice. It's quite a late one because the PC came in later in the year. 1990 to 1991 Renault Espace, 2001 injection. Someone's been watching too much Stanley Kubrick, haven't they? It's probably what it is, but they called it that. Ooh, poverty spec at its finest. 1994 to 1995 Vauxhall Astra Mark III Estate Merit. Still a pre-facelift, relatively late one, and we can't even talk about it, viewers, because it's we don't talk about those on this channel. We can talk about those, viewers. It's rather nice Rover 600. That's very nice indeed. I don't know what specification it is, but because by 1998 when that car was made, they weren't actually putting individual trim levels and things on the boot. A-Series Metro here. 1989 to 1990 Metro 1.3 City X. By this time they were not called the Austin Metro. The Austin badge disappeared in 1987. So just the Metro until in later 1990 they had the Rover badge put on with the K-Series engine put in and other changes. 1991 to 2 BMW 30318. That's a very late E30. Ooh, 1993 to 1994 Renault 5 Campus Prima. I have driven a 1994 Renault 5 Campus Prima. I drove it on No Budget Reviews back in 2020 and I quite enjoyed it. Yeah, £800 is pretty reasonable for a car in this sort of condition. It's not absolutely covered in rust, which this doesn't look like it is. It's pretty good. It'll have the sort of fuel injection in it and things like that. No cheese, baguettes or wine left in the vehicle overnight. Excellent. Ooh, Dolomite Sprint, very late one, 1980 to 81 plate, very, very nice. Look at all this sort of lovely interior, full instrumentation of course in the Sprint. There is the 16 valve engine, very, very nice indeed.
It's a Torx bolt in it, your
Mark II Vauxhall Astra GCE. Oh, we do like these viewers. Oh, this is one of the sort of later ones with a jazzy interior. I think this has got a Digi Dash in it as well. So yeah, a bit about 1990, like the personal plate is. Ooh, Mazda 323 estate. For Magna Mazda, which was down in sort of a pool area originally. We've got a rev counter in here, viewers. We've got your specification. It's a GLX. So yes, it's 88 to 89. Another Rover 600. This is a 618 IS. 1999. It's quite a late one. And it's for sale for £1,000. No budget reviews money, viewers. As Mr. Bill from the Fuel Power channel says, this could be yours. I'm going to have to stop myself buying it, aren't I, viewers? That's what I'm going to have to do. I have owned one of these before, and I quite liked it. So I'm going to have to just be very, very sensible and not buy it. So Mr. Brisdian actually made it. He is the gentleman who owns this 1989 Nissan Sunny 1.6 GSX Saloon. I think this is one of the last ones of this specification remaining. I was very fortunate to actually drive this car for no budget reviews in 2020. And it's rather enjoyable. I have driven it a couple of times since, and it's pretty good actually, to be honest. The front bumper looks a lot better now than when I drove it. Oh, a Ford Probe. Excellent. Is this the V6 one? Yes, it is. It's a 2.5 V6 from 1995. That is really rather nice. Underneath, of course, including the engine, it's a Mazda MX-6. Volkswagen Corrado, very late one. I think they finished production in 1995. So this will be a very late one. It's a VR6. And of course, it's got a beige leather interior. I do like a nice beige leather interior. Ooh, a Toyota Starlet. Wow, I've driven a previous generation Starlet to this, not this one, on no budget reviews. I've driven 88. This is an 89 to 90, so it's one later than generation I drove. Still really rare though. They're not very common over here. Jaguar Super V8. Dutch plates on it. I think in this country the Super V8 was a Daimler, what I remember on VX350s. But we do like dark green with a beige leather interior. A most agreeable exterior and interior combination. 91 to 1992 Saab 900 convertible. That's the 16 valve. 1990 1991 Jaguar XJS V12 convertible, and of course it's got a beige leather interior. I do like a nice beige leather interior, viewers. And we've got some nice walnut in there too. Very nice, viewers. Very, very nice indeed. 1991 to 2 Citroen Xm. It's an automatic. It's not actually really that crazy in comparison with some of the other Citroens of the time, is it? It's relatively conventional. 1990 to 1991 Mercedes-Benz 190e 2 litre. Again, a car that I've actually covered on Sensible Second-Hand Classics. I drove a very similar one to this, different colour though, on the channel in 2021. I also did a walk around in 2021 of a Yugo 45A, and this is a Yugo 45A. I'm not even sure this has an MOT, to be honest, viewers. It's got the later style rear lamps, I think, as well.
I was talking to a chap.
It's not really my bag, that kind of thing, viewers, but some people like them, of course. 1992 to 1993 Talbot Express. I don't know if we can talk about this, to be honest, viewers. I think it might have an engine of which we cannot discuss on this channel. So you have to be careful and just move on by. Ooh, It's a very late Mark II Panda for our market. I know in Italy they were made until 2003, but for our market these went out of production around 1995, 96, something like that. That is actually a selector, so yeah, 94, 95, unless that's a personal plate. I don't think I've seen a Panda selector for a long time. Peugeot 205 CTI with very interesting seat covers on it. I don't know actually the year of that because of the personal plate, so we will continue. Right, viewers, we have to check the rev counter of this Berlingo Multispace so we don't get in trouble. Ooh, it's actually a petrol. Excellent. So yes, it's a very late pre-facelift Berlingo Multispace. Be 2002 in that case. Wow, Fiat Sedici. It's Fiat's version of the Suzuki SX4 S-Cross. They weren't made in very big numbers actually. Fiat couldn't shift them, unlike Suzuki. And Sedici just means 16, which is 4x4. Ooh, viewers, do we have a very late Rover 25 here? Yes, we do. And we could talk about it, yes. 2005 facelifted Rover 25. I don't know what specification that is because we don't have any badges or anything, but there we are. 2002 Renault Scenic RX4. I don't think I've seen an RX4 for an awfully long time. Nothing to do with the Mazdas, of course. Nothing to do with those at all. Lloyd Vehicle Consulting stickers, t-shirts and mugs are available by clicking the link to the Google form in the video description below. How many more of these N13 Nissan Sunnies are we going to see today, viewers? Wheel trims of this one are immaculate. 1988 to 9 Sunny 1.6 GS 5-door. 1989 to 90 Volkswagen Polo C. Very jazzy seat trim in this. Was this how it came originally? I suppose it may have done. The wheels on my father's Mark II Polo look very similar to this. 2004 Rover Streetwise. Let's just see if we can talk about this one, viewers. Yes, we can. With the K series, sort of jacked up version of the MGZR and Rover 25. Obviously based on the same body shell and everything as the old Rover R3200, which dated back even further some bits to the old R8200 and 400. 1983 to 4 Datsun Nissan Sunny. I think this is a B11, so we're on the changeover between Datsun and Nissan, and we've actually got a rev counter in this. This must be a fancy one, a 1.5 GL. That looks like fun, viewers. It's like a lot of fun. 1987 on an E Toyota MR2 Mark 1. Excuse me. Filmed a lot of parts today, viewers. We're almost finished. 1976 to 77 Datsun 120Y. I think it was later known as a Sunny, but at the moment these were known as a 120Y. That's a really early Corolla. It's not the first Corolla, I think it was the second one that they made. With an M, but that would be 1973 to 1974. It's a deluxe as well. Fancy. 1992 only. Volkswagen Scirocco GT2. I think they finished production of these in 1992, so one of the later Mark II Sciroccos. Mark 1 Renault Espace here. 2000 TSE, 1986 to 1987 registration. You can see the plastic panels on this, can't you? Really quite clearly. And yes, I know Ian Seabrook's done a review of one of those quite recently. In fact, the very car might be coming up later on in the Shambolic Shuffle. 2003 Alfa Romeo 156 with an outrageous spoiler on the back. I wonder what specification this is, viewers. I don't actually know. I wonder if it's twin spark or the Busso engine. Hopefully it's not a forbidden fuel one. If it is, I won't be very happy. No, it can't be if it rose up that high. Excellent. I like seeing this Marina Coupe. It's an early one. It's a Marina 1.3 Coupe with something funny coming out of the exhaust. Yes, it's just a basic grille. It's just a basic 1.3 Marina. 7122 plate. Ooh, beige Orion. Very unexceptional indeed. Extremely unexceptional. It's 1.6L. 1988 to 89 registration. BMW 520i. It's quite a late E34. My mother used to have one of these, but it was touring. This one's a manual, my mother's one was an auto. 95-96 plate. It's quite late on in the life of that. This is utter misery, viewers. Wow, it's the most basic BX they actually sold in this country. The 1.14E, 1988 to 9 registration. And those friends in the front look a bit alarmed, especially the shark. But he's been strapped to a poverty spec BX. Single wiper, of course, as always. Let's change hands here, there we go. Ooh, 1993 to 1994. Honda Civic EG4. What does it say here? Previous elderly owner liked to slam the car on the garage wall. Yes, unfortunately that's what happened. Yeah, so this is an EG4 1.5 LS. I have actually driven one of these on No Budget Reviews in the days when you kind of could pick these up for £1,000, sort of, but not anymore, viewers, not anymore. 1987 to 8 Citroen 2CV6 Special. I think by this stage they were being built in Spain. Ooh, a Hyundai Terracan. That's interesting, viewers. Is it a V6, viewers? No, I want to run away. Also, this motorhome here, I'm just going to avoid that for the sake of argument, viewers, and focus on this very nice Nissan 200SX, which looks like it has a beige leather interior. Viewers, I do like a nice beige leather interior. That is really rather agreeable. I think this might even be a Silvia because of the badge on the front. That's very nice. This Peugeot Boxer motorhome. I don't know, viewers. I think it's safer we skip that and instead we look at this Ford Escort. It's very early Mark IV Escort actually, and it looks very poverty spec to me. I'm not sure we even get a rev counter. No, Escort 1.4L from 1986. We definitely don't get a rev counter, do we? We do though in this E39 Bmw 5 Series in dark green with a beige leather interior, because I do like a nice beige leather interior. It's a 6-cylinder one as well. With wood. Yes, viewers, that's far more the sort of thing that we like to have around here. 1999. Very early. This is an 84 only Volkswagen Golf Mark II GL automatic. It's funny how the really early Mark IIs like this don't really look any different from the Mark Is, although it's an in-house design. It's not a Giaro. And then we have the Simca 1100 based van. I forget the name, but Talbot gave these vans, actually, to be honest. It's a very late one. It's 83 to 84. Maybe on the back it'll say, it's utter misery in there. My gosh, it's just, yeah, the VF1, that's it. Talbot 1100 VF1. Also badged a Dodge at 1.2. But look at that dash, that's straight out of the 60s, which it would be because the 1100 came in I think 67. And here we have another Princess, oh it's a Princess 2, wow. So, lovely O series engine, a 1.70 series, HL, so one up from the bottom spec. And well, there's not much going on in there really. I'm looking forward to driving a Princess actually quite soon, viewers. What I have driven in the past though, but what I do remember from my childhood is this. It's about a 1990 Volvo 240 GL estate with the headlamp wipers that should have been removed. My mother owned one of these from 1990 to 2001. In this spec, it's a catalytic converter one. This exact interior. Apart from that, this is an automatic and hers was a manual. This interior came in, I think, yeah, for the 1990 model year. And yeah, she had it for a long time. Just like that, it's a GL 2.3 catalyzer. If you're going to have a Ferrari at Festival Unexceptional, you might as well make it a Mondial. Probably the most unexceptional Ferraris. Very nice though. These are starting to actually have a degree of recognition on the classic scene now that we didn't really have before. This is quite an early one. This is 82 or 83 on a Y. Series 2, I believe, Jaguar XJ here. 4.2. Yeah, it's a Series 2. I don't know what year that is. That's a personal plate, so no idea. Mid-70s probably. I believe the second Morris Minor that I've seen here. 1965 Morris Minor 1000 Traveller. It's after October 64 because of that steering wheel there. I'm hoping to drive a Traveller at some point on the channel, viewers, and I look forward to it when I do. 1975 to 6 Ford Cortina Mark III XL 1.6. The underneath of this is very similar to the following Mark IV Cortina. 2001 to 2 Vauxhall Omega B. This is a CDX 2.2. I've actually driven one of these on channel views, but it was a 2.5 V6 pre-facelift. This is a 2.2 facelift. Wow, another Mark I Ford Mondeo GLX. This is the third one we've seen today. Very early one, 1993 only. I think these came out about March 1993 to dealers. So very early one, very proudly saying we've got 16 valve engines, which will be the Zetec R engine in this particular one. (1990) Volkswagen Polo Mark II, a very late Mark II, just before the facelift. This one only got a 4-speed gearbox because most of them, honestly, that was what it was like. But I've driven one of these actually on Sensible Secondhand Classics. In fact, the car I drove on Sensible Secondhand Classics last year is actually here. It's down there somewhere. We've seen it before. That Frontier, unfortunately, viewers, we can't discuss because we don't talk about diesels on this channel. Mercedes 190E, I should say, W201. Very similar again to one I have featured on Sensible Secondhand Classics. Yeah, almost exactly the same. I really enjoyed the one I drove, although it was a little bit slow. The handling's not the best, but very comfortable. The successor car to it, of course, W202 C-Class. This is C200, be about 1999. Elegance, wow, we've got special going on here. Unfortunately, we also have special rust, which is a particularly familiar problem with these, unfortunately. Ooh, I had to see 4-track. I wonder if this has got a petrol engine in it, viewers. Who knows? But yeah, it would be about 86, 87. 1981 to 2 Morris Ital 1.7 HLS. So it was top of the range, but the top range in these was the 2-litre HLS with a vinyl roof. Isn't that utterly extraordinary, viewers? Jet to 81. So Fiat Cinquecento Sporting, 1995 to 96. I think this is a sporting anyway. It looks like one. Yes, it is. Right, viewers, I think we will finish part 7 here and we'll go to part 8. Thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video and leave a comment below, and hopefully in the last part I'll make fewer mistakes, but I really can't guarantee it.